Yep, that's me. You might be wondering how I ended up here. Well, it's pretty simple. I went to Minnesota to take part in the largest jigsaw puzzle competition in the country. Yes, I left sunny LA to go to cold, snowy Minnesota in January. It was literally 1 degree outside while we were there. But luckily, the competition happens inside. So this competition is a part of the St. Paul Winter Carnival. It's the largest and longest running jigsaw puzzle competition in the country, and this was my first time going. So let me tell you how this competition works, because it's a little different from some of the other competitions I have featured on here before. This one is only a teams event. So you have a 4-person team completing a 500-piece puzzle. And yes, it is very fast and very chaotic. So my team included me, obviously. Then we had Jonathan Clough, who you might remember was on my team at the National Jigsaw Puzzle Championships. We also had Faith, who was on the committee running Nationals, and Kevin, who I didn't know before this competition, but he was on the team that came in 3rd at Nationals, so definitely experienced with speed puzzling. And are you ready for our team name? Jiggy Pudding. I think Jonathan came up with that. Now, here's something that my team didn't do at Nationals. We, practiced? What a concept, practicing before a competition. So the night before, we did 2 puzzles by Puzzle Twist, who was the sponsor of the event. We were able to figure out the exact choreography of who would open the box, who would open the bag, who would do the sorting, who would work on the edges. And the tables in this back room were the exact size of the competition tables, so it was so great to practice there. That's one thing that's unique about this event. They use large round tables, which aren't the most conducive for 4 people to crowd around. Sometimes people will sit on the tables, but luckily everyone in my group was very tall, so as by far the shortest person, I was like, I will stand right in front of the puzzle and all of you can reach over. Now, when you have 4 people doing a 500-piece puzzle, it does not take very long. We finished this one in 26 minutes, and we did the second one in about 28 minutes. Side note, Tammy and Yvonne's team was practicing this exact same puzzle at the table right next to us, and they finished it 3 minutes faster than we did. Honestly, I'm not surprised. But I think having even an hour of practice time really helped, and I felt so much more prepared going into the competition. So the competition day began at 6:45. All right, I borrowed this coat from Sarah. Do you guys think I'm bundled up enough to wait in 1 degree weather to get a good spot at the puzzle contest? We weren't sure if we were gonna have to wait outside in the cold. Luckily, we did not. So we checked in, and then they let us into the room to choose a table. And this was the first time I had ever seen this whole room. Okay, we're moving tables. The texture on this one is a little rough. We decided this one is a little bit smoother and nicer to puzzle on. It's a big room and the tables are not identical. Some of the tables are off in the corner in the shadows, so you want to make sure that you choose one that gets good light and also that has as smooth of a wooden surface as you can find. Unfortunately, we then learned that we weren't actually supposed to be in the room yet, so we had to abandon our table and go wait out in the hallway until 15 minutes before the competition started. So finally, they opened the doors and we all ran in. This was honestly like a rope drop at Disneyland.
Go, 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 go.
We got our table? We got our table. Faith sprinted off ahead of me and she managed to grab the original table that we had originally chosen. So we were right in the middle with light coming down from the skylights. How are you guys feeling?
I can go red.
So nervous.
Nervous?
So excited.
Kevin, how are you feeling?
Great. Fantastic. Ready to get this done.
Jonathan, how are you feeling?
Pretty good. It's gonna be a good one.
Oh my god, we're here! This is gonna be the fastest hopefully 25 minutes of our entire life.
I hope it's an easy one.
Okay, so before I get to the competition, let me give you a little more information about how this works. 306 teams competed, so if you multiply that by 4, that's 1,224 puzzlers at this event. The room was not big enough to hold that many teams all at once, so they split it up into 4 divisions: Expert, Adult 2, Adult 3, and Adult 4/Family. The Expert division was for teams who had done well at previous competitions and were personally invited back to compete again. And it was also for all of the teams who procrastinated on signing up, and the 8:30 a.m. slot was the only one still available. Also, since this was my first time at the event, I didn't bring a camera person and there wasn't a live stream, so all of my filming is just on my phone, and I also asked my friends on the other teams to film their puzzle solves as well. So it's not quite as polished as my other videos, but I was able to sync up everyone's videos so that we can cut back and forth. Okay, so once again, our biggest obstacle was shrink wrap. We got the pieces dumped out at 16 seconds, but Sarah Schuler's team had them dumped out at 12 seconds. So we were already 4 seconds behind. All right, so let's take a look at the puzzle. The puzzles at this event are provided by Puzzle Twist, which is a puzzle company based out of Minnesota. Their whole gimmick is that the picture on the box is a little different from the picture on the puzzle. So you can see how some of these gnomes are in slightly different places on the puzzle versus on the box. But this puzzle is especially tricky because you don't have large blocks of color. You just have all of these tiny little gnomes, which take up, 4 pieces, but then a lot of the connectors between the pieces are just solid white. I mean, we do have these blue lakes on the side. You'll see pretty much everyone started there. We also have these trees at the top that give some extra texture, and we have these green trees at the bottom, although that same texture appears all throughout the puzzle. But this is very difficult to do for speed because you just can't easily divide up the pieces based on like the background color. Okay, so who were we competing against? Well, Sarah Schuler was there, and her team was called We Put the Betch in You Betcha. Her team included Andrea and Dawn, and all three of them did very, very well at nationals. And I don't personally know Lauren, but if Sarah included her, then she is definitely a strong puzzler. Next, the Jigsaw Junkies were also there, and all of them have very strong records between nationals and last year's worlds. Also, they won this exact competition last year. So Team Floor Check was also there. They also did very well at nationals, and they were at the table right next to us. And then the Golden State Puzzlers were also there. However, they competed in a different time slot, so I'm going to talk more about them in a little bit.
Okay,
Oh, these are already together. Don't take them apart.
I got a pair as well.
So, okay, the sorting goes super fast when you have 4 people doing it. Literally at a minute 20, I felt like I had enough edge pieces to start working on it. So you can see that Faith is collecting the blue pieces while Kevin and Jonathan are finishing getting everything turned over. Okay, so at 6 minutes in, the Jigsaw Junkies had forgotten to start their camera, but now we have their footage. It looks like they've also pulled the blue pieces, but they also have a pile of the colorful hats. It looks like we're about even, although I got an entire side done first. And then interestingly, they have a very early switch. So Katie hops in to finish the edge.
You guys sure there are no more edges floating around?
Oh, here's one.
Oh, thank you. That's what I needed. That's the one I needed.
Yay,
Cool.
team!
Okay, so finally at 9:34, I finished the edge. It was so tricky because so much of it was the exact same color. If we look at the other 2 teams at the same time, their edge isn't quite done, but it's not always the best strategy to spend too much time on the edge up front. Sometimes it's better to hop straight into the middle and then finish the edge once you have the inside pieces to work off of. Okay, so when I first finished the edge, I wanted to move all of the blue pieces inside and get those in place. But for some reason, I quickly changed my mind and moved the green trees down to work on instead. And I tried to do those, but I just wasn't making any progress. Because you saw that they were all over the puzzle, so that was a lot of pieces to tackle right up front. So instead, I swapped seats with Faith, and then I started working on the blue lakes. And I made a ton of progress, so it really does help to keep switching around and getting eyes on new parts of the puzzle. So at 12.5 minutes, the Jigsaw Junkies have their edge finished and a few big sections going. The Betches have their edge basically done and the lakes already in place. They're definitely ahead of us, at least in terms of what's connected to the edge. So I worked on the lakes until about 20 minutes in, and then I started looking at some of the random other pieces all throughout this puzzle. I definitely felt a little aimless at this point, and I really should have jumped straight into another very specific section. So comparing us to the other teams, it's a little hard to tell what is actually in place and what are just loose pieces inside the puzzle, but we seem pretty even with the Jigsaw junkies, and the betches are definitely still ahead of us. Okay, so at 22:43, we had another position change. I swapped with Jonathan so I could put together the trees up at the top. And then at 24:18, we switched again, and I went back to the green trees at the bottom. This time, with a lot more throughout the puzzle to work off of, I definitely made progress, and I filled in a bunch of the puzzle with this texture. And an interesting thing about this is that I rarely even looked at the picture of this puzzle, because since there are so many differences, if you're following along with the picture too much, you can easily just get totally tripped up and try to put in pieces where they're not actually gonna go. I think Jonathan and probably Kevin consulted the picture a lot more, but I really felt like I was doing most of it just based on the information from the pieces in front of me. Now, I just want to rewind and show you what the betches were up to while we were doing all of that. Oh my god, they are so fast. At 25 minutes, look at everyone's progress. They are so clearly in the lead and are going into their home stretch. So we have our winner at 26:48. That is so incredibly fast to do this difficult of a puzzle. I am so impressed. So at the time that they finished, here's the Jigsaw Junkies and us. So we're definitely a little further ahead, but not by that much. And just remember that in the moment, we had no idea of anyone else's progress. We're just puzzling as fast as we can without any clue of if someone else is about to start cheering that they finished. I thought for sure that once the first team finished, a bunch would follow right after. But once we hit the 30-minute mark, no one else had finished yet. So I was still working on those green trees, but we're definitely at least 2/3 of the way done. And this is where it gets so much easier and so much faster because you have so much more information to work off of. And then at 33 minutes, this is where we were really on the home stretch. And I have to admit, I don't get that nervous at the beginning of a puzzle competition. Instead, it is this part where you're so close to finishing and you have no idea if anyone else is about to finish right before you. This is where my hands were shaking, the adrenaline was pumping, but my team, we were a machine. This could have easily been chaos, but look at us, just put in piece after piece after piece after piece.
Oh, heck yeah.
Oh my god. You killed it, Karen.
How did we do that?
I'm still shaking.
I'm literally still shaking. I feel like I just ran like 5 miles.
Like, I can't believe no one has said finish yet.
I know, right? I thought as soon as they finished, everyone was gonna finish. You guys, we did it. We got second place. I really did not have any expectations going into this event. So to get second place in the expert division, my first time there, is just so incredible. My team worked so well together and I am just so proud and so impressed by them. So once we were done, we got to just sit back, relax, watch the other teams.
Go!
So 4 minutes later, Floor Check finished for third place. And then literally 25 seconds after that, the Jigsaw Junkies finished for fourth place. So let's take a look at the statistics for the expert division. First place was not even close. They were so far ahead of literally everyone else. But I'm actually kind of glad that the top 3 were so spread out. It really makes the victory feel earned and not like you just happened to finish 3 seconds before the next team, which is exactly what happened with spots 5 through 9. They all finished within 24 seconds of each other. These 3 in the middle are literally 2 seconds apart. So then if we look at everyone in this division, there were 76 teams in total, and 56 of us finished the puzzle in the cutoff time of 90 minutes. Of them, 20 teams finished in under an hour, and the final team had literally 2 minutes to spare. Okay, so before I get to the other divisions, they actually introduced a brand new bonus competition this year. So in each division, they had the top 4 teams race their teammates at a small wooden puzzle, and then the winners from those sprints would race against each other for one ultimate winner in each division.
3,
2, 1, go! Way to go, Kara.
The puzzle we had to solve was this 20-piece wooden puzzle. My strategy was to start with all of the weird connectors that fit around the horse, and then from there weren't that many extra pieces left over. Okay, so then it was me versus the winners of the other sprints from the top 4 teams. This was much tougher competition.
Count down from 3 and then we're gonna go. 3, 2, 1, go!
I wasn't expecting it to be Minnesota. I was expecting it to be a smooth border. That's what threw me off.
We've got the Winter Carnival Grand Champion, Don from Let's Put the Bet in You Betcha. Second place was Max from Floor Check. Third place was Carrot Puzzles from Jimmy Pudding. And Kat from the Jigsaw Junkies. Let's give them all, well, keep puzzling, but give them a round of applause if you're done.
Oh man, I was pretty puzzled out at this point, so I definitely slowed down. I got third, which is totally fine. I was just happy to race against these really fast puzzlers. The puzzle was in the shape of Minnesota, which we didn't know going into it. And so with those rough edges, it was much more difficult than the first one. So they gave me a copy of the puzzle to bring home, and they actually put 2 of the exact same puzzle in each canister. So if you get one, you can race against your friends. So here is all of that info if you want to get one for yourself. Okay, so by 10 a.m., my event was over. I could have gone back to the hotel and taken a nap if I wanted to. But I hung around to watch the Adult 2 division. They reset the room and then once again let everyone run in to claim their table. So I set up my camera on a tripod for the first couple of minutes. And then I realized it is really boring to watch a bunch of people you don't know solve a puzzle that you have already solved. So I went downstairs to get a front row seat to the Golden State Puzzlers. This team was made up of Tammy, Yvonne, Allie, and Lindsay. And you might be wondering, they're all very fast. Why weren't they in the expert division? And the answer to that is that they did not want to wake up that early. So just like the Jigsaw Junkies, they grabbed a table over on the side by the windows with natural light coming in. And you can see Yvonne just fully on top of the table. So they were the only pro team in this division. And here's another quirk of this event. They use the exact same puzzle for every division. So as the first time slot, we were at a big disadvantage because we had no idea what the picture was going into it, so we couldn't make any sort of plan until we were in the moment. Whereas for this division and the next two, they had plenty of time to take a look at the picture, to study it, to make a plan going into it. So I did walk around the room for a bit. I saw some people sorting by shape. I saw a lot of teams definitely struggling with this picture, but I mostly stayed by the Golden State Puzzlers to watch them go. Done. So they finished at 31:18, which was by far the fastest in their division. Everyone else was still puzzling, and there were a few teams making good progress, but everyone else was not even close. So if we look at the chart, it was 11 minutes between the top two teams. Also note that for all of the divisions outside of Expert, they had 2 hours to finish the puzzle, and in Expert, you only had 90 minutes. So in this division, only 11 teams finished in under an hour.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So up next was the Adult 3 division. I didn't watch a ton of this one just because I didn't know anyone competing, and again, it is the exact same puzzle we've already seen twice. Oh wait, I did know someone competing. Sarah Schuler's mom was in this division, and I managed to get her team's finish on camera by zooming all the way in on my phone. I felt like such a stalker.
Here we go, here we go.
They finished in third place with a time of 52:11. So here's the data. The top team finished in 42 minutes, and 13 teams finished in under an hour.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So the final time slot was split between Adult 4 and Family. To qualify for the Family division, you need to have at least one team member under the age of 18. Obviously, the families with teenagers will go much faster, but the ones with little kids are just so cute. Starting that love of puzzling very early. I can just imagine if we had known about this when I was like 9, 10 years old, I could have competed with my mom and sister and grandmother. Oh my gosh, that would have been so much fun. And probably much less stressful than now, where I'm really trying to win and hundreds of thousands of people are gonna see how I do. So here's the data for this time slot. The winners of Adult 4 finished in 52 minutes, and the Family winners finished in 48 minutes. And then this is the best part. Let's put it all together to see the overall top 10. So the Betches were still in first place by quite a lot. The Golden State Puzzlers snuck in there to be second place overall, and they knocked my team down to third place overall, which I still think is very respectable, considering it's third place out of 306 teams. So here is everyone who finished in under an hour, and you can see how it is split up between the different divisions. The front is definitely expert loaded, but after that, it's actually pretty well distributed. Now here's a chart showing how many teams finished in each time bracket. It's just Sarah's team all alone in under 30 minutes, and it took the majority of teams 60 to 90 minutes. Okay, so now this one is fun. The charts that the organizer sent me included which state all of the teams were from. Obviously, most of the teams were from Minnesota, but we do have quite a few other states represented, including Alaska. I'm sure they were like, Minnesota in January? It's basically summertime. Although it's only the team captain whose state was recorded. So for us, Jonathan put down Texas, where he lives, but Faith is from Georgia, and that was not counted on this chart. So it's not totally accurate. Now, I'm sure you're all wondering, what are the prizes? Well, we each got a big button, which we proudly wore on our shirts for the rest of the day. We also got a certificate, and I am just collecting these second place certificates. Then we got a gift basket filled with Whoppers and these little plush gnomes, one for each of us. We also each got to choose one thing off of a prize table, which included puzzles, local gift certificates, other little trinkets. I chose this puzzle piece keychain, and the next time I see my sister Katie, she is getting the other half as a thank you for making all of those charts for me. And then we also got a pile of toys and games supplied by a local toy store, but we gave those to some friends who live locally and have kids. Oh, and this wasn't a prize, but Tammy got these Jigsaw puzzle cookies made, and now that I've shown them in the video, I can finally eat them. So it's not about the prizes, it's about the experience and the bragging rights. All right, so we're almost done, but you might be wondering, what was I doing all day while those other competitions were happening? Well, Sarah Schuler hosted a casual puzzle room, so I was up there puzzling all afternoon. First, I did this wooden puzzle where no two pieces of the same color touch each other. And I did that with Mike Helland and Leslie Mallory. Mike is the one who ran the Springbok Fever website way back in the day. So it was so great to meet him. We talked all about vintage Springboks and older puzzle competitions. And speaking of older puzzle competitions, look what I was gifted by someone whose name I did not catch, and I am so sorry. This is a copy of the competition puzzle from 1986, back when the National Jigsaw Puzzle Championships happened every year in Ohio and were hosted by Hallmark. Mike has all of the winning times for this exact puzzle on his website, so should I try to solve it and race the winners from 1986? Anyway, there was also a 3,000 piece puzzle that anyone could jump in on. However, just like at Nationals, it did not get completed. And then this is the best part. They had these 100-piece sprint puzzles where you could do it as fast as you can and then write down your time to compare to everyone else. I actually raced against Katie Dilks from the Jigsaw Junkies.
3, 2, 1, go.
That's pretty good.
Very nice. You guys are smooth. 3, 2, 1, go.
I'm already off to a bad start.
Under 7 minutes.
Wow.
659.
I also saw Tammy and Yvonne take it on. Oh my god, Tammy, I think this is the first puzzle I've ever beat you on.
Oh, you're getting better.
Also, look at this. There's real glitter on the pieces. I have never seen that before. I kind of want to make a special edition of my puzzle where the entire thing is just covered in glitter. So there was also a pretty large puzzle swap table, and there were flyers advertising other puzzle events. So if you're in the area, pause here and take note of them. So I just want to say a huge thank you to the organizers of this event. It is a big event to put on, and everything was super organized and ran so smoothly. And of course, thank you to Puzzle Twist for supplying all of the puzzles. I did a few practice Puzzle Twist puzzles and I loved all of them. So I'm gonna link their website right down below if you want to get your hands on some, or if you want to get this exact one and get your family to race doing it and see how you would have placed at the competition. So I remember when I was first talking to Tammy about this event, and I was like, so you fly all the way to Minnesota for a 25-minute competition? Well, now I understand that it's not really even about the competition. As cheesy as it sounds, it's about the community and having an excuse to get together with people who have the same very niche hobby that you do. I spend so much time puzzling and editing puzzle videos alone in my apartment and hanging out with friends who maybe like puzzles but don't love puzzles. So I really treasure all of this time with other people who love puzzling as much as I do and who are good at it. It is so much fun to do puzzles with other people who are also very good at puzzles. We have 19 minutes until the bar closes.
You get to the badges this time.
We're starting puzzle number 3 of the night.
Okay, one more piece. One more. There's one piece missing.
Wait, we're missing a piece? Where? Oh.
12 minutes.
Well, still pretty good. We finished it, and we didn't get kicked out of the bar. And it is such a great way to meet new people because you have an activity that keeps your hands busy, gives you something to talk about, and lets you talk to them without having to look them straight in the eyes. You know how people say that you have the best conversations in the car or out on a walk because you don't have to be looking at each other? It is the exact same thing with puzzling. So in all of the downtime at this event, it was literally just one puzzle after another. It was so much fun. Oh, and also I made the local paper. I'll link the full article right down below if you want to read it. So if you want even more puzzling, there is actually a documentary about this event called Wicker Kittens. It came out about 10 years ago. And if you want even more, I'm gonna put the full synced up competition video up on my Patreon so you can puzzle along with us and really see every team's progress in real time. And I included my team's audio, so you can also hear all of our strategies all the way through. I also have another video up on Patreon about a smaller competition in Orange County where I teamed up with Kevin and we faced off against Tammy and Yvonne. And if you want to try speed puzzling for yourself, Jonathan's website, speedpuzzling.com, is a great place to sign up for a casual competition. Who knows, maybe the next great speed puzzler is out there watching this video right now. It could be you. So let me know in the comments, would you compete in an event like this? And who would your dream team members be? Your code word for watching all the way to the end of this very long video is Minnesota. Happy puzzling, and I will see you all in the next one.